I think between George Floyd and all of the other, people that, you know, have been like sacrificed and wrongly like taken out of here and doing this pandemic, I think a lot of light has been shown on people of diverse, color. People, a lot of black people, a lot of people of color, and like everybody wants to be heard. Like I don't know, it's because we sitting in the house more or whatever at the time, but it's like, hey, we're here. We're like a big marketing force for you. You get a lot of dollars from us. Like you get, all your influence comes from us. All your soul, all your culture comes from us. We gotta cash in on this. Y'all need us. Everybody is needed. It's not just Caucasian people are needed anymore. It's everybody's needed to make this thing work. For my company, when the pandemic went down, I was like, oh man, like it's over now. We in Trump world, and they ain't gonna want no diverse content, and like it's just all jacked up now. We in Trump land, and then your brother George Floyd, that went down. And that went down, like a lot of people don't talk about this, but when that went down, that changed everything. That changed everything for diverse, like content, media, TV, film, everything. Like everybody wants, to show us in a different light, or like, they finally figured out that we matter. They finally figured it out after all of these freaking centuries. For us as a company, like we weren't, for 3 months or so in the pandemic, we weren't doing anything. And we always thought, like, we know it was like it was a boys network, a white boys network, like white boys are going to hook up their boys. They're not going to hook up us. They don't care about us, no matter how much talent we have. We may get a little smidgen of it, but we're not going to get it. And then people needed it. So, a lot of the people who would snub us back in the day, a lot of brands, companies, networks, whatever, it's just like, y'all are doing something and you're doing it pretty well, we think. Let's give you a shot, So we started getting like more and more work, throughout the pandemic, and because I don't know if people need to check a box or what, but I know our work was good, and we finally got that light. So for younger people now, all that diversity is being embraced just a little bit more, and you don't even have to wait for somebody to embrace it. You don't have to wait for the white world to embrace it. You got it. You can just make it, because we got our own audience. We got our own dollar. We're all working right now. So now is the time just to work together, like just to embrace all of your people and work together and just make dope ass shit, because you can. This is the time. Like I don't know what times are gonna be like later, but anybody who's living in this generation, like right now, like it's a super exciting time. Even with us wearing masks and everything, it's super exciting, because it could be taken to so many different levels right now. Writing treatment is fun. It's like that's the most creative you can be. It depends on what you're writing for. I've written like treatments for Kanye West videos, or like Swizz Beatz joints, or like all types of crazy stuff. Or I've wrote treatments for shows. My best work, the stuff that actually works, is like the stuff I write sitting there on my stomach, like laying on my stomach. For some reason, like I just lay on the floor, I just go at it and just keep writing. Or, if I'm like having a couple drinks or something like that, that's when that moment happens, and I'm just like, let me just write this down. It may be drunk gibberish, but it's something. Now I write it in my phone, in my notes. I think I got like at least like 3 or 4 shows up in here on notes that are probably cold as hell. and they're from like just having like social moments. But your biggest inspiration is going to be from, and that's the thing I hate about the pandemic and stuff is like you're sitting in the house, you're not getting that much inspiration. All you're getting is inspiration from like what other people create on TV or whatever. So that's kind of limited. But your biggest inspirations come from people, being out in the world, traveling, like experiencing something different, experiencing interpersonal relationships, and like being around people and being around like things and just being on the earth. Like you gotta be outside, like, and that was the thing that kind of hurt me about the pandemic is like not being outside and not getting those things. Like, I'll be at Soho House, I'll just listen in on conversations. I just, just be there, just looking, or just being in the airport. That's enough for you there. There's so much content in the airport. It's crazy. There's content on the train. There's content in the Chinese food place at Hotoi. There's content everywhere. Like, you just get all these gems, and you just got to write them down. So that process comes from all of these combined experiences that you get. And then if you actually just sit down, you don't need enhancements or nothing. Sometimes that can help. Sometimes it won't. But if you just remember all of these moments and remember the moments that stuck out to you that you think are stellar, that creates your treatment. And like creating a treatment for a brand or like a product, that's a little harder too. You just gotta give yourself time and space. Just sit there and just like chill, listen to your favorite songs. Or I used to listen to classical music to kind of like get through things, like to get myself. That was grade school. Me was all classical, but now it's like a jazz or something. I just let that go. Robert Glasper is like my dude for everything, and I just let that go in the background, and I'm just like flowing, making stuff. Somebody gave me this question before. The advice I would give young creators is just to create. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, all the scratching and clawing I had to do just to get a piece on MTV News or, get a credit on the show or even be able to work on the show. Y'all can do this with the phone right now, and y'all have the biggest audience in the world, which is, the internet. Y'all have social media. That's the audience. Those are your followers. That's your ratings and stuff like that. And you all can create that like with no problem. Like, you can just do it right now and make it happen. It makes, millions of dollars off of just, pressing record on your phone. So definitely figure out every hack on that phone you can do. Figure out how to shoot 24p on that phone. Figure out how to, like, if you can add a lens, if you can add a stabilizer, all of that stuff. Like, go crazy. You got to go crazy and like look at the films that have changed a lot of people's perspective and lives. Look at a Christopher Nolan flick. Look how he looks up at buildings and shit like that. Like, do that on your phone, because you got all of these tools now that you could just like mimic, and like you could kill it like with you don't even have to have that much money to do it. Tell mom and pops like, yo, give me that subscription for that T-Mobile plan. That's it. Rake some leaves and get the money for it. So like you got everything. Like, it's so much more accessible. It's so much more less expensive than it used to be. I used to have to plead with my mom and dad, and they were just, my mom worked in education. My dad was a fireman. And I said, hey, can y'all give me the DVX 100? They're like, oh my God, it's like $6,000. That's $6,000, for a piece of equipment. Y'all can just rent this thing from T-Mobile, this phone, pay the little bill, $29, $49, boom. It's a lot easier. Your parents don't have to like kill their bank accounts for this. So like, it's just so much more accessible. Y'all have so much more like access than we do to equipment and be able to create, and especially like, and number one thing, just have good audio. Like, make sure you got good audio, because shitty audio sucks. It's the most horrible thing in the world, and it shows up on everything. But now iPhones can do good audio on their own. You don't even have to put an external mic on it. If I could talk to young Kurt, I actually wouldn't tell him to do anything differently. I think he put himself out at every cost, and like, he just went for it. I don't know where he got all this energy from, but he just went hard. Like, he just went extra hard. He was cocky, not cocky in a sense like an asshole, but saying like, "Hey, I got something. I know I'm good. Trust me with this." You know, and I brought that attitude to MTV. I remember one time, I was working on the VMAs, and they wanted me to get coffee for Sumner Redstone, who was like the, freaking god of Viacom. He started Viacom, and his like grandson and some people. And I was just like, nah. I was like, and actually Jen Demi, who I'm working with now, I think I told that to her, because she asked me to do it or something like that, and I was like, nah, I can't do it. I was like, I didn't go to college for this. I didn't go through what I went through for this. And, like, she's probably like, what the hell did you go through? You just a freaking 21-year-old. Like, I was like, nah, I can't do it. Having that type of attitude, and like knowing, that was the freaking, founder of Viacom. Like, sure, I should have ran out and got him whatever latte he wanted. That type of attitude, and having that type of respect for myself, and that respect for like, what I can bring to the table in my craft, I think that's, maybe that's some Chi-Town energy or something like that, or some Kanye type crazy stuff. I think it was that type of energy that brought me to where I'm at today. 3 keys to success. Number 1 is trusting yourself and trusting God. Those 2 things got me wherever I'm at now. Without that foundation, I'll be nowhere. Second is something that got clarified recently by James Samuel, who created and directed The Harder They Fall. He had pulled me and my business partner Warren aside, and he was just like, just be crazy. Be crazy. Whatever you believe in, whatever you want to see, just do it. Just go out there and do it and be crazy. It may not be, work with social norms at the time, but somebody's going to like it. Be crazy and, go for it. And everything I've been crazy about works somehow, because it has that determination behind it. If you got a dream that, you don't even put out there, it's either going to die or it's just not going to see the day of light. Oh, the third thing is learning about business, learning about how to make decisions, learning about how to expand, how to grow. And that's one of the things I would say my wife, she put me onto, because, being a creative, numbers in business was the least thing on my mind. I didn't care. I was just like, let's just make this money. It's going to save us. It's going to save me, I'll be late on my mortgage or my rent or whatever. I'll be late on everything. And, she had taught me about, saving and doing this and doing that. Then I got into this Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. They taught you how to be in your business, but not in your business. Not like doing all the grunt work. You're just seeing the vision to see how it can get bigger and how to expand. So learning that business element, and I would say, to my younger self, I would have told myself this, to go to business school. That's one thing I forgot. Yeah, I wouldn't have went to a business school. But learn that business in and out, because ain't nobody gonna be able to control it for you or tell you what to do.